Hey Josh, it's Troy Whittaker from NRL.com, mate.
Yeah,
Um,
mate.
how's the mood after the tight loss to Newcastle, mate?
Yeah, well, it was obviously another tough loss for us. I thought the way that we come back and competed, particularly towards the back end of the game, was really positive for us. So you got to pull the positives out of performances, but there was also a lot of things that we can improve on as well. So we'll look at those, and yeah, we'll need to improve a lot, particularly coming up against Manly this weekend.
You sound like you're pretty frustrated, but what positives do you take out of the season overall that you can bring into next year?
Oh, for us, I guess it's just the number of younger players that we've had come in and get a lot of experience throughout the year. We've had Bailey Biondioto, Chris Patolo, Aaron Shop, number of other guys. Jake Averillo is still really young. Matt Dury. Got a really good core group of guys that are 19, 20, 21 that are getting some really good experience, and that'll be really good for us moving forward in the future, particularly if we can keep that core group of guys together.
You mentioned having to improve for Manly this weekend. What did you take out of the loss last time to them?
Yeah, well, it was obviously our worst performance of the season. Defensively, we were poor, particularly on our edges. But obviously, having Trebojevic, Tom back this week is a massive threat for him. So we're going to have to do our best with him. Obviously, limit their go forward through the middle of the field with Tapau there and Jake Trebojevic. They do a really good job from there. But yeah, I think if there was one thing to improve on from last time was our defence on the edges.
G'day, Josh. Joel from ESPN, mate. How you going?
Good, mate.
I just wanted to talk quickly about the bubble life, mate. Some of the boys we spoke to last week had a bit to say about yourself and the way that you've handled things, and they gave you a pretty big rap as far as sort of keeping the team together and bridging the gap between some of the younger and older guys and how they might be dealing with this situation. Can you give us a bit of an idea about what you've done, about some of the strategies you've had, or how you've sort of kept the boys positive during this time?
Well, there's no real strategies. I'm not really too sure about that. I guess the big thing is just trying to do things together. If you're going out for a coffee, make sure everyone's included. Get together, go to the beach. If we play golf, we try and do it in groups. Just keeping everyone together, and it's obviously been tough with the losses up here. But I guess getting those, pulling the positives out of games, and then focusing on the preparation for the next week is key.
Yeah, that's great, mate. And you speak about the pressure. Obviously, it's been a tough year. And obviously, you guys have got some big changes coming next year. How's that been not just in the dressing room, but in the bubble as well, knowing that there's some big personnel changes on the horizon? Has there been a bit of a divide or anything like that among the group with that on the horizon?
Oh, no, certainly not. The guys that are moving on at the end of the season, particularly Will Hopewadi, has been fantastic. He's just such a good bloke, and we're going to miss him here, just his leadership and the way he goes about things. But he's just been really positive, and it's a tough sport sometimes, rugby league. Having players moving on every year, and but at the end of the day, that's the sport and that's the nature of it. So yeah, our guys have been really good. In terms of the new guys coming in next year, yeah, there is a really good group of guys. Sorry, mate, it's just a bit of noise here. Really good group of guys coming. Sorry, there's a big mower going past here. Good group of guys coming through. But that's next year. We've got 2 games to go, and we want to be doing everything we can to be winning those games.
That's a good one, mate. And finally, from me, just yourself, how have you handled all of this? Obviously, there's a bit of pressure on you to sort of look after the group, but what about when you're struggling? Does Trent play a role in sort of keeping you focused and all that? How have you handled this whole process?
Yeah, Trent's really good. All our staff are really good, mate. But it's the same for me. It's trying to pull some positives out of the games that we've played, but just focusing on your preparation for the next week and making sure that you do everything you possibly can to put yourself in a better spot to win the next game.
Good on you, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, thanks, Jack.
Sorry, just one more if I can. Josh, it's obviously a tough time for the local Canterbury area at the moment with the lockdown being extended. Do you have a message for sort of the local community back home in Sydney?
Yeah, well, firstly, thank you for all of your support. It's been a really hard year. Again, not being able to get out in the community and see all of our supporters and our members. So I understand that it's tough there and you're doing it tough, but try and stay positive and we'll get out of it together.
Josh, it's Christian Nicolucci from the Herald. Sorry I've come in late if you've already been asked, but the last time you played Manly, it's a pretty awful afternoon. Just your recollection of that day and just the emotion that day.
Yeah, it was a tough one. We spoke about it before. Just I think the big thing for us that day was our defence, particularly on the edges, conceding 66 points, I think it was. Is really poor. It's obviously our worst performance of the year, so we'll be looking to improve on that.
And again, mate, sorry, forgive me if you've already been asked, but Jack Hetherington, I'm pretty sure, is back this week.
Yep.
Just, again, what he brings, I know it's not the first time he's coming back from a suspension, but what's he bring, mate? I take it he's keen to get back out there.
Yeah, he's a massive inclusion for us. He's a fantastic player, Jack. You just know what you're going to get from him every week. But in terms of his suspensions, people think that he's a bit of a thud, but he isn't. If you go back and look at his suspensions, they've all been through technique. It's not like he's going out there to try and hurt people. And I think his loading's really hurt him a little bit as well. So he's really important to us and how we play, and really looking forward to playing with him again on the weekend.
And Josh, sorry, last one, mate. Tommy Trebojevic, if he's back, we always talk about him, but this is a bit random. Ruben Garrick, he looks like he wouldn't bruise a grape, but how much of a threat is he, mate, out in the wing?
Yeah, he's had a really good year. He's a good player. He's fast and he's strong, and he's a threat when he's around the footy. So he'll be one that will be putting a bit of work into trying to limit.